Guys, beautiful day, which I wish to get out in as soon as possible. Sorry we didn't get the Untouchables going today. Sort of a bit of a mix-up, but hoping we'll get that up and running as soon as possible. It's kind of like one of the big things I want to get going now. As I said, you've got some things at the weekend and everything else, so we'll catch up with all those. Unfortunately, there's no way of me making this video without it seeming like a response video, and that's why I want to spend as little time on it as possible. A, because I've said a lot of stuff in the past. B, because, again, there's one thing that people are saying at the moment, whether it be audience, whether it be creators, and this is true. We need to be focusing back on the problems and not each other. I agree. Obviously, our politics clash, and when their politics clash, it's okay to clash ideas, opinions. That's normal. That's how you and the public thrash out your ideas. And like I say, I've always said, the best ideas go to the top. Hopefully, that's the idea, right? So, Paul Thorpe has made some videos recently, which I've actually seen in a couple of videos. I thought, I agree with that take. Other ones I don't, as you know. And I'm going to hold back other opinions and other things I've said in other videos because time moves on and because I don't want to do this in bad faith. So, I offered Paul to come on my channel months ago now. I offered to go on his channel months ago. I offered to speak to him. And the reason I did was because he came over to my channel and was making comments against me, which is fair enough. He's allowed to. It's a bit odd, but he's allowed to make comments against me and against the people in my chat. So, fair enough. But therefore, he's come to me. I just want to make that clear. He's come to me. I've not gone to his channel. I never do. I don't go to other creators' channel and cause trouble, argue with their viewers. That doesn't make any sense to me. But each person to their own. Free speech, whatever. But it wasn't just the one-off. He's repeatedly come back to my channel. So go back, I don't know, a couple of months. I actually said to him again when he came over to my channel, you're welcome on, which he ignored. And then when he was on Vindicator's channel, I went over there and said to him, you've ignored the opportunity to come on my channel. And he then pretended not to know who I was, or maybe he really didn't, even though he'd been on my channel multiple times by then. And therefore wasn't interested in speaking to me. Okay, again, fine. So, as I've tried to say to you all many times, I always try to contact people in private first, if I can, if I know any private details for them, before I'll ever say anything on video. That's a professional thing to do, yeah? And I always do that, unlike a lot of the people out there that you see, they just make trashy comments because they want to. So, I've thought about some things, and I thought, you know what, me and Paul Thorpe maybe never able to get on. But maybe there's enough common ground between us that we could. And I'm really trying to be open-minded. So, again, I was just going to leave it, and then multiple times recently, I think the last time was now 5 days ago, he came onto my chat, and again, it's not a one-off, it's multiple times, came onto my chat, and he didn't have a go at me. Full disclosure, he did not have a go at me. Mind you, in the video, I was actually giving him some credit, but he was sort of arguing with my subs again. Again, fine, they can speak about what they want, but the point of view is he's coming to my channel. He knows who I am. I've been part of Urban Scoop and everything else. He knows who I am, yeah? So okay, he's talking about Unity and other people and people. My channel, his channel, Vin's channel, are all saying we need to come together and stop slagging each other off. Okay, even I've took that on board. So I went over to his channel, because he's been repeatedly over to mine. Went over to his channel in his live chat, and I kept it respectful. I didn't even swear, I don't think, which is unlike me. But I kept it respectful, and I offered some really, really, like, what would you call them, tame arguments to some things he was bringing up, just political things. They didn't get answered, and I thought, well, maybe he just doesn't want to answer. Maybe the chat was busy, so maybe the chat's too busy. So I then sort of tried to be more direct and say, well, you're welcome, because he was saying this person won't come on, this person's afraid to come on, this person's afraid to go on live with me, this person's afraid to go on. He didn't mention me, in fairness. But again, this is what I fear, is that he'll say, oh, I'm too small, and he doesn't remember who I am. But he soon remembers when he comes over and leaves comments on my channel, like every few days. So So he does know who I am, is my point. So I left multiple comments in the chat, no spamming, no harassment, no giving him shit. But what I did do is offer a couple of arguments to some political points that he made. I actually agreed with a couple of points that he made because they were good points. And I also offered him 2 or 3 times, plus I saw 2 other members on there do it on my behalf so that he could see it, hopefully. And they asked the mods as well to pass the message on that I'd said multiple times, Paul, because he was saying all these people won't come on my channel. You're welcome to come on my channel. And I meant you're welcome, not come on my channel and I'll rip you a new one. You're welcome to come on my channel. Now, either he didn't see it, but he had multiple people saying it. The mods could have told him, whatever else, and he went through the whole chat and somehow managed to miss me again, and it's not the first time. And so all I want to say is I am going to move on. That's what I was in the middle of doing anyway. That's why I've got these other projects going on. But I have looked and examined myself because I do think it's important we examine ourselves as we go along this journey and say, have I given him the best chances? Have I ever given him a chance to speak to me? You know, and be in a studio with me so that we can talk? No. But when I've offered, he's turned the other way, and then he's accusing other people of doing that. So again, I'm not calling him a wanker or anything else. I'm over it. My point being is, it was there for all to see, for everybody to see. While he was calling for unity, I'm offering my hand, and it's that. So on top of the other 5 times I've offered, that's now time number 6 that I've offered him to come on and talk to me. And I mean talk. I didn't even say debate, talk. And time number 6, he's either not noticed it, ignored it, or whatever else. And again, I don't know the truth. Maybe he really didn't see it. I don't know. But I'm trying to give the benefit of the doubt. But everybody else did see it, so the message should get passed to him. One way or the other, the message will get to him because he sees everything else that happens on my channel. So the offer's open, Paul. If you want to come on and talk to me to find if we do have any mutual ground. If you want to know how racist I am, ask Richard. Because Richard may not like me very much at the moment, but Richard will not be able to look you in the eyes and call me a racist because he knows that I'm not. So, and that reason I'm telling you that is because that's a good reason to know that you're not going to have that kind of person on your channel. On my channel, because I want you to come to my channel. That would be preferable for me. So I know that things aren't going to be, overproduced. So, but I think that's fair. You were offering, from what I saw today, you were offering to go on other people's channels. So I didn't think you'd mind. So this is the last time I'm going to offer. I've offered on your channels, as I said, 5 times, 6 including today. Other people have offered. Your mods are aware. I've tried. So one or another, I'm going to carry on doing the politics, and hopefully you will too. And we'll carry on doing what we do as creators. And I am going to try and take my attention off you and others, because we both have done stuff for this movement. You in certain ways, me in other ways. So the offer's there for mutual talking. What more can I do? It's literally been months of me offering my hand out and getting nothing back, but then having you come over to my channel to have your say with my viewers. So if you feel brave enough to do that, which is fine, again, I've got a proper problem with that, then, and you're calling all these other YouTubers out, and you're saying they're all too scared, well, I'm not too scared. I'll have you on. I'll have you on any day of the week. And you may think, oh, it's to bump your numbers up. Well, yeah, it probably will bump my numbers up. But if I'm so wrong, everybody will leave. But more to the point, it's not about numbers at my size. And at your size, it's not about numbers for you either, because you've got enough. So it doesn't really do much for either of us. But I get why you might think that. So I'm just putting that in the air. Yes, okay, it might bring numbers to my channel. But I doubt they're going to subscribe if they think I'm an arsehole, right? So all I'm doing, it's taking me 10 minutes. I didn't really want to take this long. All I'm doing is making that offer to you one last time. And just so that and by the way, I wasn't included on Paul's list today. So I'm not going to say, oh, Paul was slagging me off, because he didn't mention my name. But all I want to say is that offer is there, but it's the last time I'm making it. So to make it clear to all of the cheap seats, who, and you, Paul, who keep saying nobody's got the guts to take you up on your offer. I'm tired of taking you up on your offer and being ignored, or being told you don't know who I am, or you don't remember me, or whatever the excuse is. I've tried and tried and tried. So you can say what you want about the other creators, but the fact of it is, when a creator as small as me, easy pickings as me, has stood up and said, I'll talk to you, silence. So if you really do want unity, or at least try to have unity and try and move on, then when people are offering you a hand and you claim that that's what you want, here's a good idea. Take it. The worst that can happen is you find out that you don't like each other exactly like you thought maybe in the first place. The best that can happen, like you said to someone in your stream, you might end up finding it's the sort of person you go for a pint with. If that happens, great. We've made massive strides in the right direction, haven't we? And people will tell you. People will tell you whatever the certain people who feel disgruntled with me will say. Most people will tell you I'm a very fair person. I don't have people on my channel and then jump on them. That's not who I am. I don't do that to people. If they've taken the time and trouble to come on my channel, then I respect them for it. So what I would say is the offer's there, but I'm not going to keep offering. So in the future, if Paul goes on his channel and says, oh, nobody's prepared to come on here, or nobody's prepared to let me on, yes, they are. Just not the ones that you're picking. But yes, they are. Because I am. And I've let you know it 6 times now. So just to clear that up. And again, it wasn't even to try and hamstring you, Paul. It was literally to see maybe we have got some. It was based on some of your recent videos. Maybe we could make common ground. Maybe we could at least not make videos about each other. That would be a cool start. So, because I think one thing I see from watching your videos, we agree that we need to sort out the country. So, again, 12 minutes. I wanted to spend 3 minutes doing this. This is always the way. But yeah, the offer's there. I'm just not going to keep making it. And for other people that want to say, and for Paul, if you want to say, oh, nobody's got the guts to let me on their channel, yeah, they have, and they've been doing that to you, like for months now. So yeah, other people won't let you on their channel, and that's up to them. I will. So the offer's open. The offer's open. Yeah, what more can I say? What more can I say than that? But unity doesn't mean that we all got to agree on exactly the same thing. Unity can just be that we don't hate each other and that we don't get on each other's backs. If that's the kind of unity you're talking about, and I think that it is, like, for instance, you said on your video the other day that people were calling you a traitor for not voting Restore. That's ridiculous. I don't agree with that. These are the things that we do have common ground on. We can't find that common ground if you're not willing to talk. So, again, if you're going to accuse other people of not being willing to talk, it's nothing to do with me, but don't include me in that, please. You haven't so far, but that goes to all the other people out there, all the people that would slag me for being too scared. No, I keep putting myself in the position of speaking to Paul. Paul doesn't want to speak to me. So, as long as we're aware of that, I've got nothing to be triggered over. I'm cool. I'll move on. Like I say, got some things going on at the weekend. Hopefully, fingers crossed, and some stuff coming up. And so, podcast launch and stuff like that. So I was trying to do this, sort of offer this before all those things got going, because otherwise it ends up being a bit of a mess. But the offer stays open. My email is thisiszeronews@gmail.com. Thisiszeronews@gmail.com. You can always contact me on the quiet. I don't have to make everything public, and then we can arrange something. Again, I don't do gotcha streams. So, it's a pretty safe environment is what I'm trying to say. I know you may say I don't care, but I'm just saying it's a welcoming environment on my channel. You'll never see an interview on my channel where I've duped someone. So that's the best I can do. That's the best I can do. I've done it in every way I know how. And I couldn't have been more polite in my approach. So I've tried, Paul. I've tried. Thanks for listening, everybody. Now I am going to get back to the subject of politics. And the only people that are going to keep this on are the people who are going to keep talking about it, which often tends to be people jumping between channels, if I'm totally fair. So that's not going to happen with me. There is too much going on. Paul was right about that. Other people in the chats are right about that. There is too much going on. We need to get a focus back on it. That's one thing I agree with everybody on. So let's do it. Let's do it. Paul said on his stream today, talk's cheap. Well, yes, it is. So let's do something about it. Tom Fury, Zero News.